Jane Valseca might not be here today if she hadn't learned to forgive. When she and her husband Eduardo were in Mexico, he was kidnapped and tortured while Jane negotiated his release. She describes the ordeal in her book, We Have Your Husband.
And I knew that the stress could be taking a huge toll on my immune system.
After 8 months, Eduardo was released, but now Jane had to fight for her life.
I was almost not surprised, yet still completely devastated to hear the words, "You have stage 4 breast cancer."
Jane prayed for healing, even though doctors gave her a death sentence.
I did collect more information, and in one of the books that I read about Cancer Treatment Centers of America. I thought, wow, this sounds like a fantastic place.
Jane added forgiveness therapy to her cancer treatment with Dr. Michael Berry, a pastor and author of the book, The Forgiveness Project.
Harboring these negative emotions, this anger and hatred, creates a state of chronic anxiety. Chronic anxiety very predictably produces adrenaline and cortisol, which deplete the production of natural killer cells, which is your body's foot soldier in the fight against cancer.
Dr. Berry's research on cancer patients showed 61% had forgiveness issues, and more than half of those were severe, like Jane's. She was consumed with revenge against her husband's kidnappers. Forgiveness therapy begins with putting to rest 3 myths. Forgiveness is not the same thing as reconciliation. It doesn't mean you condone the bad behavior, and it does not stop the pursuit of justice. Jane's path to forgiveness included writing a letter to her enemies, praying for them, and amazingly, finding empathy for them.
I saw the kidnappers as babies, and I took them one by one forward in time in an imaginary scenario that I had created, going through things that I thought that they could probably have gone through in order to get to where they got to do the things that they do and to do what they did to me and to my family. And it was then that I immediately felt this huge sense of relief. It was as if this huge ton of bricks, this weight of the world, was instantly lifted from my shoulders.
When a person forgives from the heart, which of course is the gold standard that we use in Matthew 18, forgiveness from the heart, we find that they're able to find a sense of peacefulness. Quite often our patients refer to that as a feeling of lightness. Lori, we don't realize what a burden anger and hatred is until we let it go.
In medical literature, unforgiveness is classified as a disease, which is defined as some process that overwhelms normal function. Cancer surgeon Dr. Stephen Sandiford puts it this way: unforgiveness makes people sick and keeps them sick.
It's important to treat emotional wounds or disorders because they really can hinder someone's reactions to the treatments, even someone's willingness to pursue treatment.
In case you're wondering about Eduardo, well, he's always had a positive outlook.
I love life, I love my family, I love food, I love everything. So I really don't have time to think about these criminals too much. I don't want to take my time, whatever I have left to be in this beautiful planet, to think about negativity.
Eduardo, Jane, and Dr. Berry shared a stage with President Obama recently. They were honored at the Hispanic prayer breakfast for their living testimony of the power of forgiveness. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Muchas gracias.